Welcome to Now Go Lead, the podcast where we help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. Each episode, we provide inspiring stories and actionable insights to help you lead with confidence and clarity. Whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting out, our goal is to give you the tools and motivation to level up your leadership game. Finals and forevers. You know, as a child, we see the passage of time as something that we desperately want to accelerate. But as adults, we just want it to slow down. And I think it's such a tragedy that we experience life that way. And while the passage of time, relatively speaking, doesn't change, it is clear that something in our brains tells us that it does. I have great memories of growing up in the 80s and 90s. And every time I hear Richard Mark's Endless Summer Nights, it takes me back to a place where my life was simple and slow. But it wasn't the decade that made the difference. It was and is my mindset. I think for whatever reason, we're able to look back and see things so clearly, but we're somehow unequipped to put any sort of perspective on the zeitgeist of our current moments. I've been thinking about that a lot. There are just certain things in our life that we want to end. We want them to end so we can move on to the next thing, like a too long meeting or a too long doctor's appointment. We want the miserable and uncomfortable circumstances to be over. We want to be free from bad relationships. For any person, there's a list of things we'd rather just not continue and devote time and resources toward. But there's an undeniable part of our hearts that seeks eternity, built into our DNA at some level. I think you experience it when you're having a great and meaningful conversation with someone, when you spend time with someone who makes you feel like no one else in the world, when you hold your child for the first time. We don't want life to be over per se. We just want a life that doesn't have any of the problems. If we could have that life, we could go on forever. So, what does all that mean for leadership? You know, I think leaders have been blessed and maybe cursed at some level with the burden of vision. To the leader, the vision represents the life they want someday. They see a world where the pursuit of the vision could take them, and they spend a lot of times the best years of their life and the best of their resources trying to make it reality. And generally, we laud this as a noble endeavor, and why not? Much of the world stands to benefit the most when a leader succeeds in a worthy cause. And we want people to be leaders who will sacrifice their lives for a vision that we would never otherwise pursue. And yet, the life of the leader matters. And since I'm writing this to you as the leader, I want to let you in on a little secret. Most leaders spend their entire lives not knowing it is not the destination where they will find the fulfillment they're pursuing. So I can't even really tell you how much I wanted high school to be over. And I was desperately ready to finish college. I put myself through a lot of back-to-back semesters with 20-hour class loads just so I could graduate without taking summer school. And as I've mentioned many times before, I was aware of my leadership tendencies in my late teens. So I was always running out ahead in life to make progress on the vision. I've kind of been following the mantra of the Beach Boys going to Kokomo, which is just we'll get there fast and then take it slow. I remember having intentional conversations with my wife about retirement during my first year working in Detroit at General Motors. And she thought I was crazy because I was talking about the next phase of life when we were just getting started on really the longest leg of the journey. And I think there's something in there because most leaders, and really Americans to some extent, are so wrapped up in trying to get there, get to the destination, that they often forget to experience what truly are the best years of your life. So take 5 minutes and consider, is the pursuit of the vision causing me to miss the joy of the journey? What am I sacrificing right now that I can't get back and that I might look back on with regret? You know, a leader's greatest gift to the world is the lives they impact along the journey to the vision. If you treat your organization, friends, and family merely like stepping stones on your ascent to greatness, you'll find yourself one day at a desolate pinnacle with only a view of the destruction and lost opportunities to fill your gaze. So today, resolve to embrace the journey and make the most of the time you've been given rather than wishing it away. Forever is a long time to go alone on the journey. It's time to now go lead. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Now Go Lead. Join us next week as we cover a brand new leadership topic and help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. For more resources, tips, and inspiration, visit our website at nowgolead.com. You can also connect with us on Instagram at nowgolead and on LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more leaders like you. Also, don't forget to share this podcast with your colleagues and friends who are on their own leadership journey. Now Go Lead is produced by HP Engineering Studios in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. Now go lead.